Regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission will begin with a few introductory comments. The Planning Commission will first take action on the consent agenda. Following action on the consent agenda, the County Planning Commission will continue with the regular agenda items. Okay, any final action on the conditional use permit request will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal to the Planning Commission's of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Office by December 4th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on December 19th on or after 9 a.m. Any action taken on the rezoning application and text amendment tonight will be referred to the County Commission for a public hearing on December 26th at or after 9 a.m. This time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda. The minutes of the October 23rd meeting are included as part of the consent agenda. Are there any objections from the Planning Commission members on any item of the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I will now read each item on the consent agenda, and anyone in the audience who should object to it or would like to have a further hearing, please raise your hand and we will be moved to the regular meeting agenda. Item number 1 is approval of the minutes of the October 23rd meeting. Item number 2 is conditional use permit 1781 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building, requesting 2750. Petitioner is Rob Schulte. Who's the property owner. It's at 26354 264th Street, approximately 3.5 miles south of Hartford. The only one who might object is the person sitting out there. Okay. Item number 3, rezoning of 1705 to rezone from A1 Agricultural District to C1 to C Commercial District on property which is owned by the petitioner Francis D. Phillips. Location approximately 3 miles west of Sioux Falls. Okay, and then now we got the last one. Okay, that's it already. Okay. These are going fast.
Have you been here? Is this the fastest meeting you've ever been in?
Hey, we're going for the record. Okay, so we have no objections from the audience, so any motion for action?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. If your item was number 2 or 3, you are free to go. They have been approved.
We could do a lot worse than this. We can.
Okay, so we have one item left.
All right.
You just heard, right?
Yes. Kevin Hookman, County Planning Department. This is a zoning text amendment 1703. Is similar, the same essential text amendment that was adopted, the planning or the joint planning commissions. But if anybody's watching the video in the future, this is to amend the ordinance to allow larger accessory buildings to change what is allowable per acres. Staff has worked on this with the Planning Commission for the last few months, and the size is for 1 acre of land in a parcel or less would allow up to 1,600 square feet of accessory building. For 1.1 acres to 3 acres would allow 2,400 square feet of accessory building, and for 3.1 acres or more would allow 3,600 square feet of accessory building. This has been brought on by Planning Commission request because we have been reviewing many requests for larger accessory buildings, and they are generally larger than what these numbers are. So it'll reduce some of the CUPs, but there will still be plenty more to come to us. So with that, this is a public hearing, so anybody can speak to it.
Okay. I guess we have no one left in the audience. Any of the Planning Commission members care to comment?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say I have a picture here of an attached garage
Oh, geez, I've seen that one.
that is clearly an aberration in any neighborhood where it might appear.
That's the one on the north side of Sioux Falls?
Yeah.
Yes. It was basically built to,
Another permit last week for a very similar building, 601 North Sertoma Avenue. Gigantic garage with a little.
attached garage.
You won't see it, it's on top of the hill on Sertoma, but it meets the requirements.
So there's no requirement as far as square footage of lot covered, is there?
Only the setbacks, but it meets that. It's a, I don't know, a couple acre lot.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen those before. Some people just build them and live in them. Okay, do we have any action or comments? We have to move to approve, or,
I would make a motion to approve and send on.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the text amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New
Okay.
business or old business?
That too would also go to January 20.
This, yes, well,
They'll be at that joint meeting?
no, this wouldn't go to the joint meeting.
It'll be in the January commission meeting, and so it'd be
That's what we decided.
it'll be the, what is it, the 22nd, yeah.
22nd, that's when the
So
county
that's the
commission will hear
House.
this same text
Yeah.
amendment. Okay,
Thank you all for
Nice
your
work, guys.
hard
Thank you.
work.
Yep, thank you.
that's good. I think those are some
Good
good
plan.
changes for that. We have any old business?
Mr. Chairman, are you going to stay on with us?
No, I am not. I've
let
kind
me
of sticking
say-
with, I've been doing this 20 years. And when Walter Bone first asked me, when he was going off, he said, you need to be on there because someone should be on there from our part of the world that understands agriculture and the country. And that's why I said, yeah, that sounds interesting. And it's been interesting for 20 years. But I'm kind of also think that appointees in political offices should no longer be able to do it after 20 years because someone else should be allowed to give their input and a little different view of things. But I've enjoyed it tremendously. And it isn't always fun, as we see from time to time. You don't have to be on this board long to understand it. Sometimes it isn't fun, but we're given a set of rules to enforce. And you can't legislate, you can't change it, you can make it look as good as possible under those rules. And I guess the one thing I've always learned is that when we know that there's a 99% chance it's going to be appealed to the county commission, you always try and figure out, so if this were approved, what would be the best case scenario? With different conditions and that type of thing. And I think that's important. And the other thing, of course, is you always, even though it isn't the fun always to speak on some of these things, you still got to speak up and say what you think. The thing I don't like about being chairman is I like to vote. And, of course, in case of a tie, that's the only time I have to vote, so. But no, it's been a great experience for me. I've enjoyed it, and the thing I've always liked, and in this county, things happen. This isn't a stagnant environment. There's always something happening in this county. Even 2008 with the big economic slowdown, we just kind of paused, but we'd still have 6, 8, 10 items every meeting.
Yeah.
Never really stopped, which it really amazed me how it just kept going. But then, like I say, we're fortunate to live in a dynamic county where things are changing, and sometimes, there's some things I would have liked to seen approved that weren't, like a solar farm on the southwest side of Sioux Falls, just to have one. It's not the best land use probably, but it'd be nice to see what one would do. I've seen a couple of them built now, and they aren't the greatest things, but they're pretty innocuous. But then maybe that would cause the city of Sioux Falls to change their building ordinance to make sure the roof structures were strong enough to hold solar panels, things like that, That's a little bit beyond the normal, but those are the types of things in the future. You never know what the future will bring. But I've enjoyed this tremendously, enjoyed working with the staff, 2 planning commission people. Dave Queel was head of planning when I first came here, so it was fun. I think we had like 5
So what about
different
some of the county
commissioners.
commissioners that were on here with you over the years?
So I had Bob Colby. Bob did a really good job. He gets a little bit off the wall at times, but he, when we were first doing the CAFO stuff, he had the most common sense answers to the problems that could meet everybody's needs. And then let's see, who else has been on there? Carol Tweet was on there for a long time. Darrell was on there. Benninga.
Wasn't Jim on there?
Benninga, Dick Weber.
Hmm.
Let's see, there's been quite a few of them.
Yeah.
That have been on there, that we've educated over the years, it's, because I think every county commissioner should sit on this thing for at least 1 year to get a real feel for just the stuff that we do every year.
It's not the most popular assignment.
No, but yet you come and you go home. It isn't like we have, I don't get many phone calls anyway. Just once in a while we get a letter or email, that's forwarded by the staff. So it's been good.
I got an email after our last meeting complaining about me talking down to the crowd.
That was me too, probably, so we had a civics lesson there, but that was all right. But, I thought more and
Almost
more,
changed
as
my
I
vote.
thought more about that, us turning that down, I thought, no, we shouldn't have turned that down. Because that pond is not that big a deal in the bigger scope of things. Yeah, it's on the runway, but just watch the planes coming out of there. They're way above where the geese are normally. And all it's gonna be is one big old excavator sitting there dredging sand out of a hole. That's what it's gonna be, just like they did out here at Cherry Lake. If you go to Cherry Lake, now, that's a $200,000 lot that you have to buy to live on Cherry Lake. And just a quarter mile away is an active gravel pit. And we just approved that one for commercial development, straight north of there, which would be a gravel pit eventually. So that's interesting, but that's the types of things we are, so.
Yep.
But it makes it interesting. And like I say, I just have enjoyed it tremendously.
That being
Thank you.
said, I've only gotten one application in, and that was from Becky. So, if you,
I've talked to a few people.
I think it closes on the 1st, so,
December 1st?
yeah.
Okay, I'll
Wow.
try.
They're open for a
They better
month.
get their apps in. Jeez.
You might not be able to
Coming right
leave.
up.
Right, yeah, it is.
You can,
So, if you are encouraging anyone, please have them submit the
Okay.
information.
you can check out any time you want, but you can never leave.
Well, I'm always, open to coming back for a little enlightenment session, that type of stuff, so.
We need those.
To help enlighten us, no doubt.
That's right. So, but no, I've enjoyed it. So, that's all we have. Anything else?
Move adjournment.
In the record time of, I think I even beat
You
Susie's
your-
time. I beat Susie's
You beat the other
time.
time. Yeah, this is record.
Wow.
This is
All right.
record.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion to adjourn carries.
What has been a pleasure the short time I've been on.
Yeah.